Well, good morning and greetings, Maxace fans. This old sword with you. And yes, we've had a run lately of Maxace knives. I'm getting to be very fond of them. We've had the Goliath 2, gigantic, humongous, beautiful flipper, and the Sandstorm K review has been out. And now we have one that's a little different, still a good-sized knife, but not along the proportions of those. Um, Notice Maxace is now smelling knives correctly on their cases. They do give you a nice little semi-hard, semi-soft case there. They put a sticker on the outside of it, which isn't easy to take off, and is if you want to know what's inside, I guess it's good. At any rate, we have a little unveiling here for you of the Maxace Samurai. And there we have it in its little mesh net. And a beautiful white G10 with blue accented hardware. Similar to a version they did on the Goliath 2 with a white handle and I think a blue bolster and so forth. Here we have kind of a light blue anodized clip and hard to figure out if I'm picking up the liner or the clip. I'm going to call this clip titanium for the time being, because usually they are, rather than, or they could be steel. Anyway, I'm running on, so let's get to the essentials of this really cool Tanto-ish design. And when I say Tanto, I'm not referring to an Americanized Tanto, but more the Tanto blade geometry that you would see on a traditional Tanto. Lanyard hole in the back. We have what would appear to be either a steel or titanium backspacer, short one just at the butt end of the knife. You know what I call those sometimes, but I'm not going to say it. Got some good weight relieving inside. Lots of big slots there to lighten the load. I love the blade style. Straightforward, not really a drop point. We've got pretty much a straight spine on that. And what appears to be some good thickness to the steel. It is not a flipper tab knife per se. It is only a double thumb stud, and I don't mind those at all, especially when they fly out like this one. Great action. There's your bolster with the Maxace Midnight Cat Studio logo. Got a nice blue surround on the Torx side of the blade. I backed off just a little bit on this, and it's getting there as far as smoothness goes. Won't drop all at once. Oiled up the pivots with their bearings in there with a little KPL. Let's do a few measurements, shall we? So we have a hefty hair under 5 ounces for the weight. Let's open her up and take a look at the handle thickness first. 0.58, 0.59, we're going to call it a 0.60. And let's see if we can grab it right in here. We got 4 millimeters for blade stock. That's going to add a little to the weight, even though we've got kind of a double grind. A significant swedge on the top and about a 2/3 grind up. Is it flat or is it hollow? Feels a little hollow to me. We're going to go with that. Maxace gives you these pretty rudimentary clips. Just they work well. They don't carry deep. They're fairly springy. I mean, they do the job. They're just not that attractive looking as far as what I've come to be used to. Got some nice millwork on that spacer. Good size lanyard hole. Let's see what we got for our overall length. As I say, it's not a small one. Yeah, we're coming in at 8 3/4 with a blade length of just under 3 3/4 and a cutting edge of 3 3/4. So good size knife. Fits in the hand well. It's quite neutral. You have a little bit of an indent there for the fingers. I wouldn't really call it a finger groove. You've got index finger groove. And it is a liner lock. Liners are pretty robust in terms of their thickness and dimension. If I didn't mention it, this comes in black. Comes in blades that are partially stonewashed on the grind or not, and this one happens to be all satin blade, and I think it was the only model that had the all satin. If you refer to the Sandstorm review, you'll see that knife had the grind here black washed. With a white handled knife, I think this really suits it to have that really nice satin finish. The only markings here, and it's not too bad, is the name of the knife and the steel. So it is out of Bowler K110, as a lot of their mid-range knives are coming in. And if you're not familiar with that steel, it is similar to D2. It's kind of a high-end D2. I think it might have a little more stain resistance and a little more wear ability. And again, you can look that up. I would highly recommend looking that up on the Knife Steel Compositions app, if you're not already using that. It's available on iOS as well as Android. It's a free app, and you know, you don't get any bothersome ads either. At least I haven't seen any, so it's kind of cool. This knife comes to me from White Mountain Knives. Thanks and shout out to Justin. He's asking $88 for these, not a bad price, and you can get 10% off with your discount code OLDSWORD. So that would certainly bring you down to about the $80 mark or a little under. Early, so I'm not going to do the math for you. So other than the backspacer at the very end of the knife, we've got a completely open construction. Very solid lockup, as I've experienced on all of the Maxace liner locks. Kicks out there really well. If I wanted to go slowly, I could roll it out. Tends to jump ahead. It's got a pretty good detent. Using the thumb stud, you're usually going to be able to fail it, but I know there are some knives out there where you cannot. So the Samurai, kind of indicative of a design from Japan, from medieval sword culture. The samurai being the Japanese sword-bearing warriors, usually would carry 3 bladed weapons: the katana, the wakizashi, and the tanto. and in scale of size and order. Let's take a look at it next to a few of the usuals. If I can get the Ontario Rat 1 open. Pretty comparable in size, I'd say almost identical. Blade and overall. The blade's maybe a tad longer than the Ontario. The Freak is a little smaller. Blade's a little shorter. Handle's about the same. And if you have a Griptilian, here's how it stacks up against a Griptilian size-wise. It's going to be significantly larger, longer. Longer blade, longer handle. Take another look before we go. Could you EDC this? Oh yeah, it's got a very useful blade on it. Comes through smooth but quite shaving sharp, it feels like. I'm not going to do any cutting with it today. Aw shucks, right? Interesting handle. If you choose to go inverted, point down, that becomes an interesting ramp for your thumb. Fits right on there, no problem, locks in. You could even go edge in. It's a little less comfortable, but it works. So the Maxace Midnight Cat Studio Samurai. Something you might like. Whether you're just EDCing it or collecting it, it's a good looker for under 100 for sure, and out of solid materials. If you like this video, please do give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. There will be more content coming. This Old Sword, signing out.